tantric sex? Well, we're going to get into not only the definition, but how you and your partner can explore tantric sex to take your eroticism, arousal, and experience to whole new heights. Okay, so tantric sex really focuses on establishing a spiritual and energetic connection with a partner during sexual intimacy, because it's actually one of the original doctrines that kind of saw the body and the sexuality as not separate from spirituality. Conscious sex is really what tantric sex is. And it's a sacred approach. It's a sacred practice to sex that supports health, that increases closeness, that reduces anxiety, and that actually dramatically helps with early ejaculation as well as orgasmic issues in women, difficulty reaching orgasm, orgasms less intense. A lot of it has to do with positions that you're in, with connections that you create, and with a kind of consciousness and body awareness, especially of the energy exchange that happens during sex. So this is like next level sex. This is what I get into when I talk about quantum sex. In fact, you can check out my course. If you go to my website, drlauraberman.com, and you click on the Quantum Love page, you will find my quantum sex course. And I also have a book coming out in May 2025 called Sex Magic, where I go deep into all these practices. But to me, these kind of techniques, and tantric sex, which I'm getting into, is one of them, is one of the ways that we make sex exciting. Because so much of the time we're focusing on tips, toys, role plays, fantasies, which are all great, but you run out of those after a while. The novelty starts to wear off. What we're really looking for when we're looking for novelty is intensity of experience. That is what these techniques create for you. So let's get into it. Some of the positions, let's just start with one beautiful position that you can use as part of foreplay and even have intercourse in this position. So this position is a gold standard for quantum sex, for tantric sex as well, which is an aspect of quantum sex. It's called the Yab Yum position. Basically, it's a beautiful way to join your energies. So the larger partner, whoever that is, because all of this applies regardless of your gender orientation, your sexual orientation, whatever. So whoever is the larger partner sits on the bottom with their back supported. So you can be like on the bed against the headboard or on the floor against the couch or whatever. But your back is supported, your legs are crossed, okay? The other partner sits on the first partner's lap facing them and wraps their legs around the waist of the larger partner. And the larger partner wraps their arms, so they wrap their legs around their waist and they wrap their arms around their partner's shoulder, and then the larger partner is wrapping their arms around the waist of the person sitting on top of them. Now, from that position, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. First of all, you can do something called soul gazing. Soul gazing is where you look into the eye above your partner's heart, so their left eye. So they're gazing into your left eye, you're gazing into their left eye. And it feels extremely intimate and even uncomfortable and giggly and awkward at first, because most people have never done anything this intimate and deep. It feels awkward at first, I'm just warning you, but it's unbelievably intimate and gets built upon as you start building in these more sexual elements in a really beautiful way. So as you're soul gazing, and you could even do this at first just for 60 seconds if that's all you can do. Work your way up to 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes actually can feel like a really long time. And as you're doing it, synchronize your breath. So just start kind of breathing at the same pace. And if you want to up-level it even more, take your right hand and put it on your partner's heart. So basically, below that eye that you're gazing into, put your hand on their heart, and they put their right hand on your heart. You're synchronizing your breathing, you're staring into that eye, and you're sitting in this intimate position. It's a really beautiful way to get centered, grounded, and energetically connected. And then you can actually start having sex from that position. Now, for most of us, sexual energy, sexual sensation is located to and centralized around the genitals. That's where we feel it, the tingling, the warmth, the arousal we feel in our genitals. With Tantra, you're actually pulling that energy up through your body and you're sharing it with one another. So one of the most beautiful things, and I'm just giving you this one example, and you can check out the Quantum Sex course and the book Sex Magic when it comes out to learn a million techniques. But this one I love, which is circling the energy, okay? Now, we have to think about feminine and masculine, not talking about gender here. But for the sake of simplicity, the person who is on the top in the yab-yum position is going to take on the feminine energy. And the person that is on the bottom in the yab-yum position is going to take on the masculine energy. And here's how it works. The masculine, and this is true for all of us who live more in our masculine energy, receives sexual energy through the genitals and shares it through the heart. The feminine receives sexual energy through the heart and shares it through the genitals. And if you think about it, in traditional men and women, that's kind of the way it works. Like your average woman really gets turned on and inspired to be sexual and gets turned on sexually when she feels really emotionally connected to the person she's having sex with. And most men achieve a sense of emotional closeness as a result of sexual connection they feel to the person they're trying to be emotionally close to. So it actually is really fascinating to me that this tradition that is thousands of years old kind of understood this. So here's how it works in a sexual scenario. What's happening is that you're having intercourse, let's say in this yab-yum position. You're rocking back and forth. So you're staying in contact, achieved penetration. You're rocking, let's just pretend it's a heterosexual couple. It can be two men, anal penetration. It could be two women, just genital to genital rubbing, or even using a dildo. So I'm just, for the sake of simplicity, pretending it's a heterosexual relationship. You're rocking back and forth. You're holding each other. You're soul gazing, looking into each other's eyes. The one who is on the bottom, the masculine energy, is imagining pulling that genital sensation that he's feeling in his penis and scrotum and in his pelvic floor. As he takes a deep breath in, he imagines pulling it up to his heart, and then as he breathes out, it flows out his heart, this beautiful energy, into his partner's heart. So as he is breathing out, his partner in the feminine on top of him, as he breathes out, she is now taking a deep breath in, receiving it into her heart, letting it flow down her body, and imagining flowing it into her partner's genitals in a circle. Okay, so he's receiving the energy through the genitals, pulling it up into his heart, flowing it into her heart, where she's receiving it, dropping it down, flowing it into his genitals from her genitals. And from there, they're creating a circle, soul gazing the whole time, rocking back and forth the whole time. And you can imagine the magic that starts to happen as you build momentum with this. This is just one of many techniques in Tantra. I highly encourage you to explore this. You can check out the Quantum Sex course at drlauraberman.com on the Quantum Love page. Or you can just explore Tantra. There are a million other resources out there, but I highly recommend exploring these traditions, especially if you want to take your intimacy to new heights. All right? If you have any questions about this or anything else, you can always reach me at languageoflovepod@gmail.com, or you can comment in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be alerted when the next one comes out. If you like this episode, make sure to follow on your favorite podcast platform.